All right, this is episode 43, First Steps to Gaining More Freedom and Control. And I want to talk about how, I'm really inspired. I took off 10 days for Thanksgiving, spent time with my family, spent an exorbitant, I think we spent about $600-700 on drink and food and entertainment and everything else, which we normally don't do in this lifestyle design. But what got me was that we were able to do it. The family member I'm with as well is able to take the time off just like me. And basically, what we were laughing about as we were sitting there with other people we know, they're not able to do those type of things. They don't have the freedom in their lives because they overextend themselves or they haven't planned their life very well. And their lives are kind of in a way, as most people I think around, it's being controlled. And a lot of us want more freedom. A lot of us want to do what we want to do, but we haven't designed our lives. And a lot of us are doing things we don't really like to do. I notice a lot of unhappy people, my neighbors and things like that. So I wanted to talk about first steps in gaining more freedom and control in your life. And I don't really have these like set in order of like, this is the first thing you should do. I just wrote a whole bunch of notes here and suggestions that I think people could start with. So the very first thing I look at, well, before we get in, excuse the background noise. That's my vehicle. I'm on my work commute back home as I do these podcasts. Well, the first thing I think that we need to do is get off the norm. We need to realize what's going on. See, I think a lot of people are complaining and very unhappy about their lives and, things of that nature. But they don't realize, they haven't got the realization that this isn't working. So we need to do something different. So the very first thing is you need to realize that. And throughout the lifetime of the show, you're going to hear a lot about boring old mindset. But once you get the mindset, that is everything, you are unstoppable. Once you get the idea and you get the realizations to go, hey, I can actually do what I want to do. I can manipulate. I don't have to follow the norm like most people are doing. So moving forward here, I think we either have to accept it or we have to move on. We need to move on further, go and explore things that we can do to further our lives into more freedom and things like that. So I think the very first one that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to track your expenses. I've been reading this book called Your Money or Your Life, and it was very interesting. I just started it. And a lot of the things I've already been incorporating in my life, but I'd like to say, it's not like I just started out, I've been doing this for a very, very long time. But a lot of things that they explain in that book, I'm already incorporating into my life, and that's why I'm able to take the time off that I do the things that I do. And let me introduce myself, I guess, real quickly before we move forward so that you get some idea of where I'm coming from. I work mostly about 8, at maximum 9 months out of the year, and I take the rest off. I also have the money, the financial control of my own life to be able to take my children traveling around wherever basically we want to go, and almost for however long we want to go, with about a 4-month cap limit. I call these mini retirements. I thought that I was being original, but I guess it actually is a thing. I basically take off in between that time like I did for Thanksgiving, where I'll take 10 days off. If anybody follows this show, you guys noticed that we didn't really podcast. We didn't put any shows out due to me taking time off with family members and enjoying my time. I'm going to do this again in Christmas as well. So I live tiny, I live simple, I live resilient. I utilize I have lots of tricks and tactics other than what I'm going to share with you guys here today. Way more than this. I just didn't want to bombard you guys with with all that. I can go on and on, but we're going to have to save that for multiple shows. So that's kind of who I am. I'm able to do what I want. There's days when I actually go to work and I'm on my way to work, and I can't do this all the time, but I decided I wanted to go fishing. I'll pull over at the ocean, throw my pole in the water, and catch me some corvina or something in the summertime, or just some sand bass. And, I'll just take some time off, or I'll leave work early. If the mood strikes me and if everything's set up to do so. So I have a lot of control, financial freedom, and I'm not a millionaire, and I don't think I ever will be because I really don't want to work that hard. I actually do what I do because I'm lazy. But I'm able to financially plan by tracking my expenses, which is the very first thing I think you guys should do. Using Apple numbers, Excel spreadsheets, what I used to use before, and I've explained in the show. Go back and listen to that one, how to do it. But there's apps. There's also, you can write things down on paper. But it's the very, very first thing that you guys got to do. You need to know where all your money is going. I think we're going to talk here, my notes too. You got to run your life like a business. You are a business. You got a social security number to you. You work for somebody, or you're in business for yourself. You make some money. And last time I checked, all of us are reliant on money. And a lot of us get pissed off because we don't have enough money, or we're not making enough money and we're overspending. We don't know the world's upside down, and we can't afford to do the things that we want to do. But we need to take that realization that, unless you're living in Alaska in the free land someplace, or Slab City, USA, the last free place on earth, they say, you've got to get money. And I actually have somebody I'm going to bring on the show from Slab City. If you guys want to hear about that, let me know in the comments below how they actually lived there for her entire, I think, 2 years or something. But even those people have to go out and get money. And I think it's wise that you wouldn't go spend all your money, especially if you're living poor like that. You only have so much, like food stamps and things like that. So you want to manage those things. So yeah, you need to track your expenses, and you want to utilize apps. You need to write it down. I think the apps are very simple. It's not really that difficult to do. I think that you guys could, if you're not app savvy, you don't want to really go through the trouble to learn it, which I think you guys should, because it is, once you get it down, within like 10, 15 minutes, guys, you'll get it down, and you can track your expenses so fast. Write it down every time you you spend on anything, everything, as this book, Your Money or Your Life, says. Or keep your receipts and add them up at every weekend. And you're probably saying, oh my God, what's the last thing I want to do? I'm already stressed out, and I'm already, overworked, overtaxed, and, not feeling too good about all of these things. Well, I'm going to tell you guys what, if you do not track your expenses, is this first thing that I say, you're going to live your life in turmoil. You're going to be living your life doing things that you don't want to do for the rest of your life. Even the wealthiest of wealthiest track their expenses. They have to monitor something. Otherwise, we have stuff going on and we have no idea, where it's going to. That's what's going to tell you what's going on with your life. If you want to simplify your life, you need to track your expenses. If you want to make $1 million, you need to track your expenses. I'd also like to add a lot of the things that I share on the show, especially this particular one here. Take a look, guys. Take a look at the story of a lot of wealthy people. Last one I heard was Elon Musk living in his office, bathing in the sink, eating hot dogs for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and just working his rear end off to get where he is. It didn't just happen overnight, right? He had his overhead was super low. He got himself in a situation where he can focus entirely on his work without having to worry about all, overexpending himself, or, things like that. Although I think there was a part of that he had to do, borrowing money and starting new businesses. So yeah, track your expenses. That's the very, very first thing. Utilize those apps, count your receipts. Once you get the hang of it, it will become a breezeway. The rest of your life will become better. And whatever it is that you want to get out of and into, you're going to be able to do it this way. This is the very first thing. So now that you got tracked your expenses, when you get that far, you're going to want to adjust the flow of that money. Now you have an idea. I mean, so many people where they have no idea where the flow of their money is going. Once you do, you can sit and you can start to look at your life and say, wow, I can throw you guys out some right now. I can almost guarantee you that your lunches and your Starbucks coffees, your sodas and Gatorades and things that you buy, the amount of money that people spend on stuff that's making us sick, that we feel like we owe it to ourselves, right? I owe myself to be able to buy lunch because I get up early in the morning and go to work every day. Well, we start adding stuff up. I'm going to bet that a lot of you are spending at least $15 a day on food, drink, waters, coffees, and things like that. You start adding that up. I'm driving right now, so this is kind of difficult. What do we got? Like $50. We have $75. Let's just say $75 times 2 is $150 times two more. That's to make every week of the month, four weeks out of the month. That's about $300 a month that you're spending just on that. We're not even talking about the food at home. And is that stuff, that fast food and all that stuff, really healthy for you? If you start eating more healthy, and not like Elon Musk, eating hot dogs for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you don't have to do that. There are a lot of ways, which I think we'll touch on in here a little bit later. But yeah, the food is just one of them. You got to look at your gas expenses. Drink. I think a lot of people like to drink alcohols and things like that, smoke their marijuana, and I guess it's legalized here in the United States. I know we got listeners from all over the world. But yeah, you got to track those expenses. You got to see where that stuff, where it's going, and is that stuff really helping you? Is it really making you happy? I think that a lot of people spend money and do things that for a moment's grace, for a moment's satisfaction, and that's really all it is a moment's satisfaction. Now I don't have to live that way, but I continue to live that way. I talk a lot about living below your wage. And when I do, like I said, I take 10 days off. I spend some good money. Just to give you guys some idea, prime rib, smoked the best of the prime of tri-tip, smoked tri-tip, chicken wings from scratch, a whole turkey. I think I spent like $60, $70 on just not even that big of a turkey, guys. I think like 9 pounds or something. Pasture raised, all natural, organic turkey, about the best of the best. So, yeah, that's because I started adjusting my money flow, and then I get to turn the valve back on whenever I want at this point. I'd also like to say, too, I didn't mention as far as adjusting the money flow, I'm very confident and don't have a lot of the stresses that most people do in their lives because I have an emergency fund that right now, and the things are getting pretty nasty out here with this new COVID thing that they got showing up. And also supply chain shortages. I'm in San Diego, California, and my business is starting to, this morning, there was no supply for me. Luckily, I stocked up and bought supply. I have emergency funds for my business. I also have emergency funds for myself. I can make it probably about 2.5, 3 years, maybe longer, if I just didn't even work a day in my life. That's the kind of stuff that relieves stress and actually helps you to gain more control and freedom in your life because you're not that worried. And you also have pretty much you have gas in the gas can waiting in case you need to fill up the tank, metaphorically speaking. All right, so the next one is starting a savings plan, and that's what I was just talking about. Once you get, if we recap real quick, once you utilize the apps and everything and start tracking your expenses, you start learning how to adjust the flow. Maybe you start putting that $300 a month away for an emergency fund. And I'll tell you what, guys, it doesn't seem like much, but you start like I did. Sometimes I look and I go, why didn't I start this like 20 years ago? You know how much money I'd have in the bank? But it starts to accumulate. It starts to accumulate fast. So start a savings plan. So that's where I look at, get a regimented with yourself, get some discipline and say, hey, if I'm not going to have that coffee and I'm not going to make that lunch, let's just say that Fridays is your day where you get your Starbucks coffee and your lunch. But those 4 days a week, you get regimented where I'm going to put the rest of that money away. Off the top of my head right now, if my math is good enough, I'm going to say that's 30 minus 300, we said. That's $270. So $270 a month is going to go towards a savings fund. It's a plan that you have. This is the amount, no matter what. Once we start tracking, once you hear the episode back that we did about how to create a budget, you can look at that and say, well, if I don't come up with that $275 a month, something slipped up, I got to sacrifice my coffee, right? Or I got to sacrifice something else. So I know that sounds like a lot of work. You can treat yourself like I do. I go once a month at least, and I go spend however much money I want, and I'll get like sushi or some of my favorite foods. And yeah, I don't hold back, man. But I make enough money, and I have enough planning going on to where I can adjust to do so. So yeah, start that savings plans, guys. Start it now and start working on that and be disciplined not to touch it. And be hard on yourself. Get serious about this, because if you're serious and you want to get out and you want more freedom, it's going to take that work. None of this stuff just happens. It takes work. But once you get the work done, I still want to say, I don't want to draw people off. Once it does, and you get to the point like where I'm at, you get to take off whenever you want, guys. I know some of you work for people, but you have a job, but you can, a 9 to 5, but this could lead up to where it gives you options to get a better job. Maybe something you can do from home. Maybe start your own business if you want to be an entrepreneur like I am. But you got to have some money to work with. You got to have some working capital. All right, the second thing I want to start working on here, like I said, you got to run your life like a business. You need to start organizing your home. And I think in the home, as little things, there's a whole bunch. I'm just giving you guys a couple tips here that I use. One of the things I do at home is my morning clothes. for my kids, for myself. I don't necessarily like wrap up a burrito of clothes anymore. I used to. Now I just kind of set them out. Actually, I make life easier. All I have to do is pull my pajama bottoms off, put my pants on. I have my socks hanging right there by my bed. I put them on, my shoes, my coat, and I'm out the door. Those are my work clothes, right? For those of you watching this on YouTube, you know, this shirt here, I take a bath and I put it on. It may seem stupid. You may look at it and go, that's just little. But you start, when you have kids, if you have a pet, you know, it's good to measure out things, basically, is what I'm saying in the morning times, where you, when I did have a dog, you know, I had little packages of food that I'd make. I did a raw meat diet for my dog. I did also dry food, but I had little canisters where in the morning I could just wake up, open a Tupperware, dump the lid, you know, dump the contents into a bowl, put the lid back on, put it in the sink, done. You start adding up all your time. I think we've done a show already on this one. I don't know. I've got 2 shows that I do here. But you start doing a time audit, and you start looking at minutes. Yeah, you just said, well, by the time I found all my clothes and put them on, it maybe saved me 5 minutes. Let's just say for your dog, you know, me buying an automatic water feeder saved me probably about 5 minutes a day. We start adding stuff up. That's 10 minutes more freer I have per day. That's 10 more minutes I could have slept in. My food or my clothes and everything are rolled up. Everything's all ready. If you have kids and you're running around trying to get stuff in the morning, maybe you overslept or you weren't feeling well, you've got these Monday through Friday, all these clothes all set up and pre-planned. You don't even have to think. You put them on or dress your kid and you're out the door. All of those little things that you can add up, start doing them. You know, it's not very difficult when you start off in a week. When you wake up in the morning for a whole week, look at how much quicker things are when you pre-plan. I'll have to kind of insert here, I don't have in my notes, is on Sundays is my chore day. Saturdays, you know, I work I work hours basically throughout the week, and then Saturday's my relax day. I do a very physically demanding job and a lot of mental work that goes into my job. So I need time to decompress. But Sunday's that day where I clean up house. Again, I live in a tiny house. I don't think I mentioned that. So cleaning and everything, it could be done within like 4 or 5 hours, done. I also go and I'll meal prep and I'll meal plan, which we're going to talk about. All right, so your morning clothes. Take that, what I just said, and see what you've got going on in your life, how much you're scrambling in the morning to get things going. I think our next one is a food list and food list organization. I've got freezer space. I've got freezers. I've got a pantry. I've bought a lot of food because of these supply chain shortages, and also I buy in bulk because it's cheaper. But I noticed that I started getting very discombobulated with my food. I didn't quite know. I didn't list what I had down in my freezer. I had to look. Once you get a list going on, and also date everything. I use 1 gallon Ziploc bags, mason jars, and things like that. Put what's in it, date it, but also you can make a list on your phone or on a piece of paper somewhere on a chalkboard, and you can list all the foods that you have. That way you're not throwing stuff away. So remember we said run your life like a business because you are a business. I've seen a lot of people emptying out prime rib out of the steak and just yummy foods because they completely forgot. It got freezer burned. And you spent a lot of your hard time, money, and work and time to get these goods. And they should be managed just like a business does. That way nothing goes to waste. Especially nowadays, the cost of everything is going up. So yeah, get a list going on. Make sure you date everything that you have. And that way you get a good idea of what you've got stocked up in your home. This makes life a lot easier. We're going to talk about food preparation coming up. Now, routines and self-discipline. I think this goes across the board with everything I'm saying right here. But this is just something in the mornings like I look at for myself. I haven't been doing. I'm just as guilty. I've got a torn rotator cuff. I'm in my mid-40s, and I guess it's something that happens to all of us mid-40 men, or most of us. Nothing particularly that I did. It just, I think from repetitious work throughout my lifetime, and things finally worn out, but it takes some exercise. I had the same problem on my left. I did exercises, and it took me about a year, I would say, to get it rehabilitated to where it doesn't hurt anymore. Right one is really bad. I haven't been doing anything about it. A reason why I brought this up is that I was disciplined on the left arm. The right arm, I've just let everything go. That's not good. But I want you guys to think of this, the discipline, and I want you guys to incorporate this into your life. Get some routines going on, just like we said with your money. Get that routine and the discipline to say, hey, if I do not come up with this amount, this quota every month to put away from savings, then something's got to go. I think, again, a lot of us are self-gratified, saying that we deserve to not have to do all these things, work so hard and put money away to get ahead, live for today, for tomorrow we die. Guess what, guys? I've heard that all my life. A lot of us are still here. The majority of us are still here, and life keeps happening, and it doesn't give a crap about you and what you're doing, not doing. You have to take the responsibility for yourself. That's why I say the discipline and the routines. Get in these routines and stick with them. If you falter off here and there, that's fine, but get back up and do it. I'm speaking to myself, including, we got to get this arm back up and running. If anybody knows more information on how to repair a shoulder rotator, torn rotator cuff, please let me know in the comments below. I would greatly appreciate it. All right, number 3, organize your life like a business, as we talked about. Schedule everything. So if you are a parent, I think even if you have a dog, even with yourself, I found that, I should go in for regular routine checkups, health checkups, get my blood work done and things like that. And guess what? Gets swept under the carpet. Somebody says, whether it's your boss or not, I'm in business for myself, so a lot of my things have to be scheduled. But when you have, say, like my ex-wife with the kids, one of them's got to be taken to the dentist or something like that, and that's a good one for yourself too. I get my teeth cleaned every quarterly. Every 3 months I go and get a dental cleaning, and so far no cavities, and it makes my life a lot better. I pay that money so I can have healthy, I have all of my teeth in my mouth, and it's because of that regimented routine and self-discipline that I did. So the ex-wife will call sometimes, and as soon as she says that we need to do something, one of the kids needs to go to the dentist or something, I immediately write it down. Now that's, I guess I'm saying this because a lot of people just I've noticed that there's a lot of flakes in my life, and I'm not sure if it's their fault. I think they just straight up forgot. Well, in my world, I call it be a person of your word. Your word is what you own. You really don't own anything. The day you die, that's what you're going to take with you. You're not going to take any gold, money, wealth, or any of the things that you have, but your word that you are a trustworthy person, you own 100%. And guess what? It can't be taxed. But in some ways it can. If you don't own your word, if you're one of those people that says you're going to show up, or you were supposed to call about something, right? And you do this over and over again, you're going to become that person that people can't rely on. And I think this is the worst place that you can ever be, because I've gotten a lot of opportunities that happen in my life because I am known as a person of my word. If I say I'm going to do something, I do it. But you know what, guys? I've screwed up too. I've screwed up a couple times. And if you do, that's okay. Just call. Just let people know, hey, man, I screwed up. Even if it's something stupid like I completely forgot. My dog ate my homework. At least let them know. And that does wonders for you. You have leeway to prove yourself and get yourself back up and running. But write it down. I have a note on my phone, which I use my phone for everything. And that is every time something comes up, I got Sunday through Saturday, times, everything, dates, everything's put in advance. And I know every morning when I wake up, as a routine, as I said, some disciplined routine, I look and see what are my appointments and what do I need to do today. When anybody asks me, can you do something? I immediately look at my phone, I go over my scheduling, and I see, can I physically do this, without hurting myself? And that's the way I schedule it. So yes, schedule everything. And look at the things that's just for yourself. Write down a note, a schedule that maybe you should go see the doctor. Maybe you should go to the dentist. Maybe you should go to your chiropractor, or, maybe you should do something fun for yourself. Once a month, I'm going to take a day off. This is that day, and schedule it like a date. Schedule it with yourself. This is the day I'm going to go learn something, or I don't know, go running on the beach, at the park, in the mountains, whatever it is. Schedule everything. So we were talking about meal prepping, and that's why I see running your life like a business is a lot of expenditures, go out to where we said eating out. A lot of expenses go towards stocking up on food or having food go bad in the fridge or the freezer. So meal prepping is a big one for me. And that's what I do on my Sundays. I plan out my entire week. Off the top of my head, we're going to have bruschetta for dinner with some salad and tomatoes and cucumbers with lemon and salt on top. I've got leftovers and things when I cook in bulk, which is a side note for you guys. It helps me for meal planning. But when I meal plan and meal prep, I know what I have because of those lists, right? I know what I need to go grocery shopping for the coming week. Everything's planned like a business, like a restaurant. This makes life so much easier. When I was married, I remember the ex-wife saying that how much it was stressful. Like, I just don't know what to make for dinner tonight, you know? Stay-at-home mom too, but I guess let's stay away from that subject matter. I don't want to say something mean. But anyways, I look at, it's very simple. Meal plan, take note, take inventory of what you have, run your life like a business with that. You're going to save a lot of money. You're going to be healthy. You're going to save your health. You're going to be a healthier, happier person by doing so. So, meal planning, definitely something you guys need to do. The next one I have is clear the desk every evening if you can. If not, do it the next evening and get that regimented, excuse me here for a second, I just lost my words. Get that discipline to do so. And what do I mean by that? A lot of people wait till they have like these bills and stuff like that where they'll go and, I'll just wait till the end of the month. Well, it was due before the end of the month. There goes your credit. Guys, in this day and age, like we talking about money, your credit is going to be the biggest thing, whether you want to buy a house, get a new car. Your credit is telling the lenders, is telling the world who and what you are. You're not a person of your word, they're not going to give you any loans. Very, very important. So clear the desk, what I mean is I try to do, every evening I come home, I check the mail. If there's one bill, I'll go and pay it right then and there. I do everything over the phone. I don't even mail things anymore. If I can, better yet, I'll take that new bill as they come and I'll put it on auto pay. I understand a lot of you guys can't, so you're going to have to pay that thing, as you can. Maybe set it up, scheduling again to say, hey, put that in a pile and separate it. Throw away the junk mail. Don't just throw it all over the desk, because metaphorically speaking, in your life, I guess is what I'm looking at here. It's not just about the desk and bills and things like that. We get a lot of clutter and stuff in our lives, and we always say, "Oh, that's Adrian's problem. That's tomorrow Adrian's problem, and that's the next month Adrian's problem." Next thing we know in life, we just have this huge spider web of gunk, of a bunch of stuff that we've completely disregarded. Our credit sucks. We're broke. We don't have a lot of money. We're stressed out doing things that we hate to do, and it just turns into a mess. We've got to organize our lives, and we have to start having some fun, I think. Some of you may say that, I don't believe in a lot of stuff. Take a look at what the rich people do. You want to get rich? It's not my bag, but if that is your bag, take a look and see what these people say. Read some books about your money or your life. Read any of those motivational, inspiring books on how to get rich or how to live free, and see what they say. They're going to talk about a lot of the things that I'm talking about today and about the lifestyle that I've been living for more than a decade. And that's how some people, I love when they say, you're so lucky. Has nothing to do with luck. Zero. I've put in the work. And yes, everything flows for me now because I've been practicing and doing it for many years. And I started incorporating and being inquisitive for things. And that's what I want, to share this stuff with you guys so that you guys can live that free life too. I want you guys to enjoy yourselves, your family, your pets, your friends. Once you start auditing this money and your time and you start running your life like a business, now you can schedule times off to have even that much more. To be able to sit on Thanksgiving and take more than just a 4-day weekend, right? Take a whole entire week. Do like I did, take entire 10 days and eat some of the best, healthiest food. Don't skimp on it. We're living like the elite. People like me could live like the elite, eating the best of drink and food and dance and play and entertainment, on budgeting and zeroing in on your life. It gives you that control to do so. So guys, that's the show. I really hope that this hit something that struck a note. If it did, please comment below. Get a hold of me. Let me know what you guys want to hear about. And I will do my best to make a show around for you guys. That's what all this is for you guys. So, yeah, go out there and have yourself a near-life experience, as I like to say. Don't lose your muchness. Carry on the fire. And human up, my friends.